All right. Hey, BA fam. I am back. We are back with the BA Roundtable. First of all, can we just do a quick victory lap? A quick little like snap moment?
Right.
That's right.
Y'all really love it. They love the panel, the roundtable. Well, first of all, they love y'all. They love Chris and Yaneli, and everyone has just been so kind, BA fam. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All your DMs, all your comments, the comments on YouTube. Y'all are just, I mean, they always have been incredible. But yeah, thank you to Chris and Yaneli too for being my guinea pigs.
Anytime, girl.
It was so much fun.
And I want to be clear because I am switching up the roundtable. So don't get too used to Chris and not Yaneli. Okay. There's going to be some really fun people popping in and out of the BA roundtable, but it is, yeah, I don't think I picked wrong at all for my first couple. Yeah. So what should we dive into first? Chris, I had told myself that you'd be in SF right now. I was like, oh yeah, he's moving. That's why we're doing it on a different day. But then I don't think you are.
I am moving. So next week I would have been on
but
the
you're
road.
not there yet. Okay.
Packing up. So today I'm in the process of, this is like my last day of having my full desk set up with the lights and camera and mic, and it's all getting boxed up and getting ready to get out of here. And I'm excited, a little stressed. More excited than stressed. So I'm doing all right.
2 years wasn't enough time for you to wait, get all the things in order. Like
I'm not gonna put everything in boxes for 2 years. I got to make sure I'm making the decision. But I'm literally getting rid of almost everything. Like almost all my stuff I've been giving away to friends, to family. I'm literally taking my clothes, my equipment, and that's pretty much it.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Wait, are you good, Chris, out there with all those fires in LA? I'm just seeing how horrible this footage is, and it's just like heartbreaking.
It's rough. I'm thankfully far enough away. So I'm about 30 miles south of those fires. Gotcha. So we get some of the smoke. Like it's still a couple of days ago, the smell was horrible. And you can see ash falling from the sky, but no danger whatsoever because it's just a bunch of like cities between me and there. Basically, it's the hills above LA. There's near Malibu, near Pasadena. That side is like, it's not really developed. So it's just a bunch of like green shrubs and stuff like that. And it's been no rain at all, really, this year for. So it's super dry. So all that stuff starts catching on fire and it's been bad. Like I can't even imagine. I know a couple people who are closer to it. I know some people have gotten evacuated. It's rough over there, but thankfully me and my family, most of us are all so far south that we can smell it, but we just can't, we're not affected by it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, SF doesn't really, well, that's not true because SF was getting some like crazy, smoke and like the sky and stuff. There's nowhere safe, it feels like, in the state. So, I know that you seem calm, but maybe you shouldn't be. Maybe you should be worried.
No, it's the thing is around here, it's just city after city. I feel like so many other states.
That feels like you're putting people in your path. Like you're like human shielding the rest of the state.
I didn't put them there.
There's people in those cities, Chris. You're like, I'm grateful because there's like 40,000 people between me and the fire. So
hold up. I don't like the way you spin my words. I feel like the first episode.
That's why you can't run for office.
I can't because you're gonna destroy my campaign.
Single-handedly.
Man, he's gonna hop on. This man put thousands, millions of Los Angelinos in the path of this fire to save himself and his family. Do you want him running your country? No, that's
Mike.
I mean, you and Mayor Karen Bass right now getting lit, getting toe up. But that's a good, I was paying attention to sort of the headlines around the wildfires, and on the business side of things, I have some like business bullet points to go over. But one of them is 2 companies have been getting dragged. One, well, I would say there's one company in particular I've been seeing, but I would just put this whole category of home insurers.
Yeah.
The biggest one being State Farm. And hey, State Farm, I ain't scared of you, even though you sponsored this show. I'm keeping this in here. We run their State Farm ads in every episode, I feel like. But State Farm right now in California, apparently reports are saying that they've dropped 30,000 homeowners from their policy. And it's not like a new thing. No. Isn't that like for fire insurance specifically?
I mean, are you going to refund me my premiums? Because how is that legal is my question. I've literally been paying you these premiums every single month for years, and now you're just gonna dip on me and I get nothing. And like, so we just as if nothing. To me, that is so, it should be so illegal.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, that's what insurance companies are here for. It's not for when things are good and nothing's happening and you don't have to pay out any claims. The point is,
Right.
hey, look, you were getting money when stuff wasn't catching on fire. Now it is.
Exactly.
That's when you need to pay up. And yeah, like you said, it shouldn't be this thing where I know a lot of people have had to resort to state insurance, like the bare minimum type of insurance now, because there
Right.
are none of these big companies that are willing to insure their homes when they've been collecting money all this time.
Yeah.
And it's like you've even done the right thing. You've gotten the fire insurance. The same thing happens in Florida,
Exactly.
right, too, Yaneli? Have you heard
Yup.
about that with the flood
Yup.
insurance and
Flood insurance.
hurricane damage insurance?
The worst thing is a lot of people out here seem to think that their homeowner's insurance policy covers flooding when it does not. So unfortunately, a lot of people, they don't have separate flood insurance. And then when worst comes to worst, they're like, wait, what do you mean I needed a separate policy? The thing that pisses me off is to see how many people did the thing, went and got the extra insurance to cover it, and now they're being screwed. It's like,
Yeah.
how am I as a financial educator supposed to fix my mouth to tell people to go ahead, go above and beyond the basic coverage and get these additional insurance coverages and policies, and then they're looking at me like, girl, for what? They don't even cover you when times get rough. And they're right, and we're right. Like, now to not trust insurance providers is, to me, it's like founded. It's like, that's valid. I don't know even how to respond or what to tell people when they reach out to me and ask me, what you think about this, what do you think about this? And people are going to start canceling additional insurance left and right because the lack of trust, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have fire insurance?
No, not here. So I'm a renter, and I just have
you're a
renter's
renter.
insurance, but the risk of fire is so low where I live, it's not like a thing.
Yeah.
Soundbiting that for the future, buddy.
I know. I'm moving, so I hope nothing happens over here.
Out your mouth with a dare for the universe.
Just really
Stop it. I'm fine. 40,000 homes are between me and the fire.
Again, those never words that I spoke on this podcast. I need to just lock this into don't you edit this out either, Mandy. Don't you edit out all these disclaimers I'm giving afterwards.
Okay. I'll let my editor know. The editor is me and Tanya. It is. Yeah, I mean, my dad, and just insurance, and just to keep on this, my dad got dropped by his home insurance policy because a tree fell on his house, and he used his insurance. God forbid you use it, So he used it, and then he gets penalized, and it's just, yeah, it's wild. So I'm hoping that, I'm hoping to hear something different, State Farm, but because it's the biggest insurer in California, but I'm sure they're not alone. I'm sure there's other home insurance companies and insurance in general, man. And, especially after that, God, the murder that happened.
Mario's brother, what Mario's brother did. Yeah.
Mario's brother. Oh, no. Girl. Luigi. Yes. Damn, I was never happier to not have to record an episode during that debacle because
I've been seeing so many people pull that out though. And they're like, and then when people want to look at the reaction to Mario's brother, and it's like, now look at what these insurance companies are doing with fire home insurance and all these other types of insurance. It's like, why are people mad at insurance providers? I'm not justifying anything that has happened, which is wrong. Wrong is wrong. But when you look and see why, when people have no clue why these things are happening and they sit around and go like, I'm just so befuddled. I don't know why this would happen. Really? You got no clue what mess is going on? Like, look at this. These are clear symptoms of a system that is neglecting people and truly just honestly taking advantage of people. That's like the base level of what's going on here. So I really do think it requires a national conversation about repairing trust among people, especially consumers in this country that are like, I've done everything right, how are you going to screw me over like this, versus people who, if you're going through life not getting the insurance you need, not paying premiums, not doing this or not doing that, I get it. Those are people who kind of have, they're flying by the seat of their pants. But when you look at the people that are truly like invested in doing the research and putting the money aside and sacrificing certain things so that they can afford these things and then not getting what they owe and what they're due, it's just heartbreaking and frustrating.
I mean, that begs the question. In certain situations, should you have your own, if you can afford to have your own savings on the side to get yourself, like how much, it's an entire house, but to have emergency savings of your own so that if the worst were to happen, that you and your family at least could have, enough money for hotel stays. We have seen Airbnb. Yes. Airbnb coming out and offering some free stays, getting some flack because apparently they haven't done that in past wildfires that have impacted lower income areas and all that. Oh yeah. But the Airbnb, the State Farm of it all, my heart goes out to homeowners. And if you think people in California are not just like us, I mean, that's another, I think, issue is that people are thinking, oh, California, they got money out there. The celebrities will just like save everybody. But these are a lot of working class people, a lot of immigrants, a lot of people who live on the edge financially, and they deserve compassion and support.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think California is a very expensive place to live relative to the rest of the country, maybe outside of like New York or like a Seattle or something like that, Miami. But the thing is, the people here, like you're still not making significantly more compared to the cost of living. I know so many people who have solid jobs. They'd be solidly middle class by any standard, but the cost of living has gotten so high out here that they're pressed and they're stretched to their limits. But between that, I mean, they have childcare, they got health insurance, they got all these things that add up, food costs, that it's so difficult. I know very few people who are my age who even own a home just because the prices are so expensive. Like your mortgage is going to be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month, and that's a lot of money. So many people are just like, even if they want to be a homeowner, they're forced to be a renter, and it's like it's not. California, great place, very prosperous, a lot of money flowing around, but the average person is just living a very basic life and oftentimes stretched really thin.
Yeah, we got to speak on that. And I mean, climate change in general, we know that like these disasters, the what's happening in the environment, it adversely impacts brown communities, Black and brown communities
100%.
so much more. I mean, who do you think lives on the on the Gulf Coast getting their homes flooded every time another hurricane comes? Who do you think are going to be the people who are in these areas that are not going to have the most sophisticated rescue services that can come and rescue them and help put out fires and save them from flooding? I mean, climate change is, to me, a race and socioeconomic issue above all. And it's just, we're heading into this new administration, and the lack of hope that I have, the lack of like optimism in terms of, okay, well, maybe we'll genuinely get more supports, more social safety nets so that we can protect the most like vulnerable communities from these disasters. That is just out the window. We got to protect ourselves. We got to lean on, our elected officials at the local and state level.
Yep. More than ever.
Hope that they're standing up. And community, like your neighbors, support one another and take care of each other, because these are some crazy times. It's snowing in Georgia. The hell?
Girl, I saw that.
6
inches. Atlanta slow. It looked like the winters in New York back in the day. Like I was looking at these videos of Atlanta with the snow. I'm like, I can't believe it. I have never seen it like that. I mean, I've been to Atlanta a couple times, but still, never would have thought that much snow in Atlanta. It's wild.
The blizzard of 93 is one of my core memories. The blizzard in Atlanta of 93. I don't know. I think it was middle Georgia, whatever. But, and we literally we were sledding on our hill outside our house on sheets of cardboard. And like my dad inexplicably had a giant roll of plastic. Like, I don't know what he used that for, but we would cut sheets of plastic and cardboard boxes, and we just had the best time.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that was what, 30 years ago? There we go.
Hey, why you gotta remind me like that? Like,
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I was a wee kid. I think I was in kindergarten that year. But just saying.
Even born in 93. Get out of here. Reminded me of my age. Oh man. Okay. And other economics news, job numbers came out. Jobs. It's always it just never really makes sense to me, but the job numbers are really good. More companies are hiring, and it's all like, yay.
Is it though? I feel like it doesn't match anecdotally what I'm hearing.
Never does.
Yes.
The human experience.
Yeah, because I've been talking to so many of my friends that are like, girl, I've been applying for jobs for the past 4 years, haven't been able to get a job. Or they'll be like going through interview processes, and then it doesn't go anywhere. And it just feels like they're checking the box by interviewing people, but they already knew who they were going to hire because it was somebody's friend from inside the company. And there's so much of that going on. I saw those numbers and I was like, really? It just something, it feels like a disconnect. And of course I woke up in the markets like all red. It's because people are like, oh no, the economy is actually stronger. Maybe that means there won't be as many, Fed rate hikes. But it's like, actually, I just feel like this doesn't match the situation that's actually going on. Or maybe it's just me, but that definitely feels off to me this time.
Yeah. What are you hearing in the popcorn streets, Chris?
Yeah, I think that's the thing too. I think it's very like industry specific too. I think that causes like a lot of like, if your friends, like for me, I have friends who aren't in the industries that are kind of like popping off right now. They're doing well. So then you see,
what are some of those industries popping off? Is it all tech? AI.
Tech is actually hurting a little bit right now, but the AI for sure. I mean, engineers are always going to have a job, but obviously, like if you're in the AI field, you're going to be fine. But there are some of the tech companies that had those huge layoffs, and they still have been keeping their thing. Like
Yes,
their
true.
business is very tight. So I mean, healthcare is always a good one. You're always going to see growth there, but it's so divided. It's kind of like almost like with class, right? Like there's people who are always going to be doing well, there's going to be people doing poorly, and I think job market has become so like tight right now that it really depends on what industry you're looking for work. Because like Yaneli was saying, I have a friend, one of my really good friends. He's been looking for work all year long. He got laid off back in I think like February, March.
What does he
Been
do?
dry. He works in like healthcare. What do you call it? You never know what your friend
You
is
just
doing.
got finished talking about how healthcare is inoculated and it's going to be.
He's not in a hospital. This man was at a desk.
Yes,
So he was doing
absolutely.
like for like the prescription drug side, he would be the person who would like monitor the calls to make sure people were handling it right, type of thing, like an auditor for that stuff. And they shut down this whole department, laid everybody off, and just got rid of it completely. And this is a multi-billion-dollar company that was doing fine, doing great. And they just said, you know what, you guys can go ahead and go home. And he's been struggling to find work ever since.
And I bet bots are doing that job right now.
100%. I was about to say on the first roundtable that we talked about this, how AI is literally coming for those types of jobs. When you do the type of job that can be easily automated, you better start looking out for what can you do to protect yourself. And whether that means picking up new skills or whether that means mastering the AI technology so you can be the person to train the company leaders on how to implement it. But some way, somehow you got to save yourself, because it's true, a job like that or like quality assurance or like customer support, like those types of jobs, I feel like are the first ones to go, especially these tech companies that are having these layoffs. And it's funny, you see AI increasing and tech kind of having a little bit of an issue. Those two things are interconnected. Why is tech having so many layoffs? Because they're bringing in AI to get rid of all those jobs.
Yeah, and I have my brown boost and break. My break, really, I'm breaking today, y'all. It's going to be about that, so stay tuned for that. I have a rant. I'm calling out more people, more companies. Ooh. All right, Bad Bunny is number one in the country. I'm switching to pop culture. Bad Bunny, number one in the country. I'm so happy. I love me some Bad Bunny. I'm not Puerto Rican.
I love him too.
Can't claim it. But what is it about him that just sparks so much joy?
It's just
I love to see him win.
Through to his core. Like there's so few artists that have been authentic in the way he has from day one. Like there is not an ounce of fakeness in any of his bones. Like he's you get what you see, and he's just so raw and real, and he brings it back every time to the struggle. Like if you're a Spanish speaker and you listen to his music and you connect back, or even if you just translate the lyrics, you'll see like how he's constantly bringing it back to the history of the struggles on the island of Puerto Rico, and the people that had to fight to get where the successes on the island are, like celebrating that, and just always rooted in that celebration of the Puerto Rican culture, which I feel like there's very few artists today that constantly do that in a way that is authentic and doesn't feel like they're trying to play it up for the clout or for like social media buzz. He's doing it because that's genuinely like the type of music that calls to him, and like he's putting it out there whether it hits or not. It just happens that it always hits because it's so good. It's so
people
good.
don't even know what he's saying. They're just like bopping.
Yes, that part.
I saw someone talking about how like even they were getting on him about like using slang in Spanish that people didn't understand. That was like very local. And he's like, I don't care. Yeah. He's like, I'm just gonna do it anyways.
Yes, I saw that interview clip. They were like, what do you think? Do you feel like you have to explain yourself? And he was like, I don't care. I was like, that's right.
Somebody did have to explain to me what pololo meant. Wait, which is like the dance that there's a song called Perrero. Yo perreo sola. Ding, ding,
perreo.
Ding, ding. Perreo. Thank you.
I was like, pololo. I don't know what that is.
Listen, I got that Santos at the end of my name, but it's hyphenated, okay? I have not really earned it. I have not earned my keep, all right?
Over there just tearing up the Spanish language.
Wait, so what is it? Perrero?
Perreo.
Perreo, okay.
Yeah.
All right. We didn't talk about, a couple of things. One, I don't even know if you guys want to or not, want to approach this, but the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively lawsuit.
I saw that.
Chris, as a huge fan of Colleen Hoover. How
Oh
do you feel
yeah.
about that?
Oh God, I feel for Colleen so much. I have no idea who any of these people are you're talking about right now.
I was like, really, Chris? Which books did you read? Because I feel like I need to get on it.
It ends with that he is the president of the Colleen Hoover fan club.
Oh yeah.
Oh my Lord.
So you don't know who Justin Baldoni or Blake Lively is?
Okay, I've heard the name
You
Blake
know
Lively.
them.
Is she
Of
the one
course you
married to
know
Ryan
her.
Reynolds? Is that who that is?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
Sorry,
okay.
the eye rolls I
Gossip
have
girl.
rolled. Well, the reason I bring it up is because the Me Too of it all, and now we're
Yeah.
supposed to be in this like era of when women are believed, when they call out
Yeah.
harassment. But it has been, I don't know, it has been fascinating to me, people taking sides and how it's been flipping. But
Yeah.
for the Chris's of the BA fam, just to recap,
Thank you.
Blake Lively starred in a film that came out this summer called It Ends With Us, based on a very popular romance novel by Colleen Hoover. So she's an author. Getting it?
Okay.
All right.
Piecing it together.
Justin Baldoni, who was my, my pretend boyfriend because he was so fine, and he played Jane the Virgin's love interest. Did you watch
Yep.
Jane the Virgin?
I did.
Loved him.
So
But he's since Jane the Virgin has become this like his professional male feminist.
His podcast, his brand, his whole image. Yeah.
And so when he came to direct It Ends With Us, which is about domestic abuse, it's about a woman, Blake's character, who gets in a relationship with a man who has the most ridiculous name in literature, Ryle. And have y'all seen the movie? Y'all know Chris ain't seen the movie.
I haven't read the book or seen the movie. So
okay. It's on Netflix now.
I was reading about it and I was like, no, but I feel like I need to go and look at the actual movie to see the tension that was between them in terms of the characters that they played.
Need is a strong word. Do you need to?
Okay. No. Well, I mean, I feel like I'm missing context. That's what I meant. I don't think I feel the need, but I feel like the context that I'm missing is because I didn't see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just so crazy because the film is she's in a relationship with Justin Baldoni's character. He's also the director and the producer. So this is where I'm like, okay, if there were ever going to be like abuse or harassment, it's going to happen on a set or in an office where your boss is also your coworker and also like the chairman of the board.
Boss's boss.
That's basically what it's like to be producing, directing, and starring in the film. Right. And so Blake, I think she is a producer on the film as well. But Justin's production company is like behind the whole thing. So anyway, her character is in love with him and he is physically abusive toward her. And she's sort of like slowly coming to grips with that. It's one of those things where like, is it abuse? Is it? It's fine. So anyway, since there was all this, drama on the social media and streets, because during the premiere, Justin was never seen with the cast, so there was like this, speculation, and I was totally into it because I know Blake, I know Justin, I'm on TikTok and I'm watching and I'm waiting for the hot takes and then it was it felt like they were being very grown up about it, very mature. No one was really calling anyone out. But you did wonder, like, is there a legal, like, what's happening in the back? What's happening in the back of this? And Christmas Eve or Christmas week, Blake's team issued not only did they file this lawsuit against Justin and everybody else on his side, but they did it through the New York Times. Like, the New York Times did Chris is like, wow, story time. I'm learning something.
This is the first time.
It's big. I mean, and accused him straight up of sexual harassment on set. Which, that's not a light thing. That's not like you made me uncomfortable in the workplace. That's straight up this is what you did.
And did you read any of the complaint, Yaneli, or Chris, I ain't read nothing. Again, I don't know why, but sometimes I get hyper fixated on something, and I love to read a legal complaint. They're fascinating. So I did read it. It was like many, many pages of accusations, and it wasn't just that. What creeped me out about this whole thing, made me feel gross about it, was a couple of things. One being that Blake did all the things. She did confront Justin through the proper channels. She tried to get, anyone involved that could take her concerns seriously. But the problem is, again, he's her boss. The production company is usually who would keep this kind of bad acting, have to hold people accountable for it. He's the producer, his company is the production company behind it. she had tried to go to the distribution company, which is basically a distributor is like what Cumulus is for Brown Ambition right now. They put our podcast out to all the different networks so that people can hear it, right? So I think the distributor for the film, I think it was Sony, but they were like, well, we can't do anything. We're just in charge of taking the movie and putting it in people's, streaming platforms and the theaters and stuff. And they had taken a break for filming. She had said, I need you to not show me any videos of your wife giving birth, which like one of his producers. Yeah. Juice, you guys got to read this. The whole complaints on the New York Times. So yeah, like his producing partner had apparently, because Blake gives birth in the movie, and had apparently shown her a video of his wife having a vaginal birth, and there's some, obviously it's a romance. So there's sex in the movie, and like Justin apparently would try to introduce new love scenes without Blake's prior consent. She was and as a new mom myself, a relatively new mom, like she had just had a baby before, like 3 months before, and she was on this set, pumping in her dressing room in her trailer, and like they would apparently just like barge in while she was in various states of undress because she was pumping. And just like boundaries were being crossed, and like
that's too much.
Comments about how sexy she looked in outfits, and it wasn't just her, many other actors on the set apparently were supporting her, and she came to them with these complaints. They agreed to not continue with that, but obviously the lawsuit, the other side of this is like the PR firm that was behind this takedown of Blake, that was actually they've had these screenshots, these text messages of the PR firm actively plotting to take down, like to assassinate her character in the press. So, and there's a text from Justin being like, we need something like this. And it's like, it's a story about another actress being a diva on set. And he's telling his firm, like, this is what we would need, something like this. Can I order one of these, please? Can I get one of these like hit pieces on Blake's? And you know what came out?
What a jerk.
It was like Blake talking bad to a reporter came out, that clip that resurfaced from like
Mandy, years. I didn't know nothing about all these other details, but I had seen a couple of those videos, even though I barely even know who Blake Lively is. And it was like, look at her at this press conference and how rude she was and dismissive. And I was like, oh, maybe she's not a good person, but I don't know who she is. But I didn't know. Look, the PR was getting me because I didn't even care. And I'm like, maybe she's not a good person. Look
at her monster. That's how these things work. That's why these PR campaigns are successful. And that's why people pay top dollar to get people to spin up stories in the media.
Yeah. I think because I have a background in journalism, I like to think I'm a really good consumer of news. Like I'm always kind of like tablespoon of salt when I read stuff. What's the person's angle? What's their play in this? Why would they want this story to come out? What's good about, why are they being quoted here? Why are they giving a comment stuff? But it was just chilling to see how sophisticated the social media campaign was against Blake, and how hard it is to trace it back, and how quickly it came full circle after she filed this lawsuit. You were seeing again more, positive headlines about Justin in social, and like negative stuff about Blake and Ryan Reynolds, that she
throw him in there too. Why not?
Throw him in there. Why not? Because how she needs him to like be the protector here, and how they are bullying Justin and all this. As a woman in the workplace, like I still feel like we have so far to go. It's sad to me. For Blake also, like when she came out with the lawsuit, she had all of her former co-stars put out statements. It was almost like she was saying, I really need everybody to come back me on this because no one's going to believe me, even though I'm Blake fucking like Lively.
Dang. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's so sad that she even had to do that, but she knew what the odds are and what she's up against, unfortunately. And I mean, good for her to think ahead, to prepare in that way, and know that she needs to come correct, because the reality is, had she not done that, had she not done that preparation, it might be a completely different headline that we'd be reading now.
Yeah. And she's still got such a long way to go.
And it shows too, like on social media, when something takes off, whether or not it's true or not, right? Once that whoever gets that first message out first kind of controls it after that. And then other people
Sure.
start hopping on it, stitching it together, doing their little
Mhm.
comments. And then it takes on a life that everyone's just going to believe this story once it comes out. Because how can you pull something back like that? Once it's out there, it's so
Yeah.
hard to get a narrative back.
Yep.
That's
And the way that
that's why
it like
women don't say shit.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The social manipulation is the crazy part of it, right? And I mean, you talked
Yeah.
about this before, Mandy, on the show, but like the J-Lo slander and how they literally one day to the next, I woke up and everybody hated J-Lo, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
When did that happen? Like it should, but it happens so fast.
Yeah.
Especially the memes and how quick. I mean, that's literally memes is the root of the word mimetic, right? Where it's like so quickly it can
Who
take shape
educate us
of
on
its
that
own.
now?
You know
Yeah, I didn't know
what
that
I'm
was a
I
real
saying?
just
word.
made up that word.
Yeah,
Same.
mimetics. Listen, only
Mm.
reason I know is because my boyfriend works in tech and he's like goes into like the history of things sometimes. I'm like, I don't need all that. I just need to know. but it is interesting actually. We start to look into it, how so quickly it morphs and like so many people everywhere just start to turn it into their own version of something. And that's literally what's happening here. This like social manipulation campaign pretty much is what was going on.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is.
Anybody can do that to me. Anybody can do that. I mean, Mandy can do
Mandy's
that
trying to do that to
Chris.
me right now. Every time I hop on this microphone, she's doing that to
Chris,
me.
as the dude in the stewed, for all men, for all humans with penises, can you please explain why you're so terrible?
How long do we have?
At life? Or like,
yeah.
How can you be a better ally? How can men be better allies to women in the... Well, one of the things I will compliment you, Chris, pan the camera over to your little bookcase over there.
Oh.
We can't see it.
Can you see it?
Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Hold on, I'll bring him over.
He got sis on the bookshelf. Burnout's book. Jamila's book.
Jamila.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at, I mean, that right there, that's the first step to being a good ally. Just make sure you put it in the frame next time, Chris.
Yeah.
Look, we gotta focus over here. No, but I mean, to me, it's like it doesn't take a lot of thought for me to be like, well, look, what men, women, we're all people, right? And these are my friends. These are people who are very talented. And to me, being someone who's talented, skilled, just a good person, it makes it easy to support someone. And to me, it doesn't matter. I see no difference between men and women as far as what any of us are capable of, which sounds like a stupid statement to make because, like, obviously, but there's so many people who don't see it that way. And I think for me, my mom, she was the higher earner in my family. My dad did a lot of cleaning and cooking. So it never seemed weird to me to have some type of balance or to do tasks that would traditionally be for a woman. Because it's just to keep the household going and we're all working as a team. And I think so many people don't get those examples, but me and my brother were very fortunate to see those examples and see a woman who was running her office and who was, making more and more money every single year. And I think it's just so many people lack that and then lack the empathy to even see that there's more than one way to do things. But it's kind of, I don't know. I think more people just need to be, I don't know. I try to be that for my friends. I try to be an example of, hey, it doesn't really matter. We all can do this. I have no problem with I want to be more powerful than me or earning more money. But it takes, I think, more and more people, I don't know, just seeing those examples and being willing to have their minds change from everything they saw in their household or they learned from their friends.
Yep. It's that programming. They have to kind of be unprogram and rewire the way that they're thinking, because it's true. It's kind of hard. I mean, when your brain just operates a certain way, it's really difficult for you to up and choose to think differently. It sounds so simple. Oh, I'm just going to choose not to believe that anymore and to start believing this. But simple as it sounds, it's one of the most difficult things to do, to change your mind and rewire the way that you think, and the ideas that pop into your head. It's beyond your control in a lot of ways, and you have to work at it to rewire that. It's really, really hard. So kudos to you, Chris, and to your mama.
To your mama. I also feel like, Chris, one of the things that makes it great to be your friend as a woman, I feel like men who have women as friends should be studied, because I think it's an extremely good sign of a well-rounded human man if they can have platonic girl friends who are women, because there's something that's broken in terms of, like, especially the younger men now. I know we were getting there when we were in our teens, but like now for sure, women are just so hypersexualized to young men that you're only seen as objects. like you're only seen as something that they should be attracted to or unattracted to.
Yes.
Like you should be looked at for your appearance and judged based on it. That they don't even hear what's coming out of your mouth. Or it's like either you're too sexy or too attractive, which can be, can be like, then you get blamed for the reason why men are so lonely, and like, God forbid you turn down somebody, and then there's this young men on the internet who are, what do you call, what is it? What's the thing? Misogyny? No.
Incels.
What's, yeah, incels. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the word. And these incels where it's toxic, against women. But to have that ability as a man and to raise men, it's so important. I have two young boys that I'm raising. And I want them to grow up seeing women as just well-rounded people, human beings, who deserve to be listened to and not put in this box of desirability and, appearance. And it's scary.
Yeah.
It really is.
If you're not attractive, you're attacked for not putting enough effort, energy, time into how you look. And if you look really good, you're accused of using your looks to get ahead. And it's like, well, where the hell, come on now. We just can't just be like, we literally can't just exist and be trying to pursue our passions and find things that we're interested in and be productive members of society. Like, oh no, you have to fit into a certain box. Otherwise it's not acceptable. And that is the most frustrating part of existing as a woman, especially in 2025 and beyond. You would think that we would have gotten over these things, but time and time again, some pro athlete makes a speech at a graduation talking about women need to take a step back and go back in the kitchen and be in the home. And I want to slap the freaking computer screen. I'm like, wait, what? So, you just can't get it right. You just can't get it right. We just have to follow our intuition, do what brings us joy and makes us feel fulfilled, because at the end of the day, everybody's going to have something to say about the way that you exist when you're a woman. So you sort of got to pave your own path and do your own thing.
Man, and people need to be willing to, I think men need to be willing to, I guess, view a different perspective and understand that there are different experiences. It's very similar to like with race, right? Like people, if are in one group, you don't necessarily recognize the struggles or the experience of another group. I think with men, they oftentimes they don't even know that there are women experiencing a whole different existence of life than they are. Because, especially for like appearance, guys can look like a leftover sandwich and be run at a company and nobody even cares. Nobody even looking at them. They'd be dressed horribly, look the ugliest person you've ever seen in your life, and nobody even thinks twice about it.
Case in point.
And so it's like one of those things where you know what?
So mean.
You know what? I'm trying to win. I'm trying to help you out. And you just made like 3 more incels right now.
Sorry. You're adding to their group. Come on, Mandy.
I can't help it. I don't know if I'm sorry. Keep going.
I don't even know.
You're not sorry. Not even a little bit.
Just feels right.
I just threw it out there for you. Like, I'm taking this. There's no way I'm not taking this.
You got a black t-shirt on and the same you don't do anything. Did you powder your head? Like me and Yanelli over here. Face girl. I hate saying face beat. It's not my favorite thing.
I know.
Makeup on.
It sounds so violent. Ooh.
Hey, I shaved my head. I combed out and put some stuff in my beard. Look, it's like I didn't just roll out of bed. Come on, I put a little bit of effort. Clear, not as much effort as you put, but I put a little bit of effort.
Honestly, probably
some
more.
Effort.
Well, Chris, let's just end on the high note of like you are a ally in a lot of ways, and I hope. I love that, having you at the round table. It's just like, let's put an example of a man who you're listening to 2 women and you're fine letting us just jibber jabber, because you're like, you act and you're listening, like you care what we have to say. And very sadly, that's not always the case.
Right.
Especially in personal finance.
Facts.
Yeah. I still listen to you, even though you insult me. I'm like, I listen to that too. What am I gonna do?
You have humility. You know that you're not perfect and that I may have something like a good critique of you, like it may be valuable. And I think that that's great. Insult me back. It's totally fine. I don't make it as easy as you do.
It's a trap. I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
Another woman, another woman in the media right now getting a lot of, have y'all heard about Twitch's wife?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Come on, Chris.
I'm learning so much right now.
I'm gonna get you a subscription to Hollywood Reporter or something.
So one of these. I mean, I just find out on social media. That's the thing. Or my niece will send it to me like, girl, did you see this? And I'm like, oh my, I don't have time. Let me just quickly read the highlight. But that is messed up because not only is she outing his stuff from his diary, which come on, that is never okay. But
because he passed away, right?
He
Yes.
committed suicide. Died by suicide 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, maybe 2 years ago. But she moved on, married someone else, and made it impossible for his own family to access funds and to attend his funeral. They had to sign an NDA just to attend his wake. I mean, she put his family through a lot because when he died, he left her in charge of obviously the kids and his family and like their estate and stuff. So there was some issues with that where his family members felt some type of way, as they should. And then secondly, she goes ahead and takes his diary and publishes a tell-all book about things that were what was really going on that he wrote in his diary, which to me is like the biggest red flag of all red flags, that a traditional book publishing company would agree to do that. Like, y'all are trifling. She's trifling, but they're trifling for giving her a platform to do that, because that is messed up.
I'm not 100% as convinced that like she's the enemy here. I've read the headlines. I don't know. I feel like as a wife, as a partner, there, Twitch, being a human, like Steven, his real name, he may genuinely have not wanted his family to know certain things or not trusted them with that information. So I find myself wanting to give her a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, just that like she also has his children. Like she has 2 kids by him, I think.
She does.
And as a mom, I want to believe that she's doing it for the right reasons. But his family being in the media and like attacking her, it almost makes me think maybe there was a reason that she had them sign the NDAs because of how quickly, they would run to media with that. But it makes me nervous about, or just makes me question our own privacy after we pass.
True.
For someone to go and take private documents, private thoughts, and to publish them that on like just the black and white of it, like no pun intended, because they are a biracial couple, but
right.
It gives me the ick.
It does. You're absolutely right. I didn't even consider that part because obviously I don't think like a mom because I'm not a mom, but what she's doing, maybe putting her kids first and all that. But the diary becoming a published book, there is nothing.
Is it the whole diary being published or like little excerpts in her book?
Excerpts from the diary that are being used for the book. And to me, I just feel like there's nothing anyone can say to me to justify that. Like if she, I mean, for her own self for herself to go and like share stuff with the family or even with a larger team or like an intimate thing where she says, hey, I had this discovery that might shed light on what we didn't know about Twitch, fine. But to go and publish a book to make yourself some money is, to me, it's just like, I don't know, that's inexcusable behavior on the book side.
How bad were the things that made it into the book? Do you know?
Well, it's on pre-order right now, so we don't know yet.
Okay.
And of course it is. Pre-order links are free. Everyone go get this book. We're all talking about it.
All right. There we go. That adds to it.
I think some of the allegations or some of the, discoveries is that she had found some types of drugs in his possession that she wasn't aware of, and that he talked about potentially being abused at a younger age. And listen, like when a man takes his own life and his own wife doesn't understand why, of course there's going to be secrets there.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
An inner life that as a partner myself, I can't imagine how traumatic it must be to realize that there was all this happening with a partner and I didn't really know my own, husband in
partner,
that way.
Your own life partner, right? This person you're supposed to be doing life with, and you have no idea what's going on beyond the surface. It's scary for sure.
But she's also got a family and a career. And like, if you want your life to mean something, his life to mean something, maybe unpacking it is her way of saying like, well, here's how you maybe cannot find yourself in a situation like this. Notice some signs that maybe I missed. I'm hoping for her sake that that's what the angle she's taking is like trying to help other families. But the celebrity memoir, baby, it's always going to be.
Yeah.
Always.
I'm trying to think, would I be mad if someone, like, one, no one's buying a book based off of my inner thoughts in my journal or something like that. But if a family could make money off of that, would I be
So
okay?
you
I don't think I would
yourself
care.
there, so
Like,
didn't have to
I'm
do
like,
it for you.
I mean, Chris, what's in the diary is what is that. It depends. What are you
I want to
writing?
play a
That's
game. What would Chris's diary have? Today, my microphone did not work at the
it was a
beginning
rough,
of the BA roundtable.
it was a
oh
rough day.
no.
Mandy insulted me yet again, tore me down in front of millions of people. And it was just like, why does Mandy hate me? That's my next entry. That's what I'm putting in there today. Why does
I
Mandy
try so hard to be a good ally to her, and she is just verbally abusive time and time again. Don't know how much more I can take.
We don't feel bad for you. Continue.
Who, me? Oh,
Yeah.
I was like,
what were you saying?
Well, after, you just derailed me, but I was like, would I care if my
your
family published a journal I had? And I'm like, I don't think I wouldn't know, so I'm gone. So
Right.
Do you believe in heaven? I guess if you're up there watching your life unfold.
That's true. I mean,
your family's lives.
I don't know if can I just change the channel? Can I watch somebody else's life after I'm gone?
I mean, if you're in heaven, you probably can, but you still have to deal with the knowing, because once you know they're doing that, you can't unknow it, and that's hard. That's hard, because now you got to deal with the fact that this is their character, this is who they are, and you didn't think that they were these type of people that would do this to you, and now you can't even talk to them about it. Oh,
Harry Potter learning about Dumbledore not being his hero. I mean, we have to give people space to have these layers, these shadows, like addiction, abuse. We're all carrying around something, our inner selves, just to not, just to be like, to hold space for that. Like, of course there's, these parts of us that we're not always bringing to the surface, and we have these deep inner lives and everything. I don't know. I mean, like, if I were to pass and then someone would take my journal, because I'd be writing. Sometimes you have terrible thoughts and they're just thoughts,
Yeah.
And you put them down on paper and it's just thoughts and they don't mean anything about you, but then those thoughts get into the wrong hands and all of a sudden it's like, oh, she said this, she's this, we never knew, blah, blah, blah. But listen, in therapy, a lot of things are said. In journaling, a lot of things are said that you should feel safe saying, and you don't, to have that potentially shared with the world out of context, out of your control. That is,
no, it's terrible. See, I don't write anything down. The only thing you're gonna find me writing is my to-do list. So y'all not gonna get me.
Oh,
y'all
really?
not gonna get me, because I don't do the diaries. I don't do the journals. I don't do the nope. If it's bothering me, I'm gonna go to therapy and say it. But I'm looking at her clipboard. She better not be writing this down, because this is.
You're like, I gotta audit that clipboard when I leave this room.
Right. Like, let me just make sure. Because no, I understand it makes you feel so much better, but I just never have gotten into that practice of like sitting down to write, to journal. I'll just meditate, or I'll take a nap, or I'll go talk to someone on the phone about it. But I'm glad I'm not leaving on a paper trail.
This little book right here, baby. This
Oh.
is full of dark thoughts. I mean,
Woo.
It's a part of my therapy. I mean, it's a part of my mental health journey. I've been such a huge mental health journey this year, and like writing down the worst things that come to my mind is a way of dealing,
Oh, for sure. And then it's out of your head. It's on the paper.
I got to put it in my will, though. This is why you got to have a will and testament. Like, no one is allowed for my private diary, to be put out there. Hell no.
You gotta put that in a safe and only give one person a combination.
Right. But
I don't trust my own kids either.
It's crazy that you think of, oh, let me put this in my will. But like, do you think Twitch was thinking, let me make sure my diary? And no. Now that this happened, people are going to be thinking like that. But isn't that a shame that we have to see that happen to him to then think, oh, we have to cover ourselves and make sure we include our diary in our will? Like, come on. This is the type of people that we dealing with. Like, to me, that's why I say she's trifling, because I just can't understand what would bring her. I mean, I guess dollar signs, but like, how much money would have to bring you to do that to him? It just, I can't, especially if she claims that, they were in a good place, and it's not like she's being vengeful, or that he didn't, do anything to her, that maybe he was unfaithful to her or something. Then there's some more context. I would understand why she's trying to play him. But I just feel like I don't understand really what her motivation is, if it's anything just beyond money here, because that's just so terrible.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to get the book.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. The only two memoirs that I have pre-ordered, Brandy Norwood's. Brandy's coming out with a memoir. Ooh, can't wait. And Tina Knowles.
Okay, Tina
Miss
knows.
Tina.
That one's gonna be good.
Do you read memoirs, you guys?
Occasionally.
I don't know if I do memoirs as much as I do like biographies. I've done a couple autobiographies, but I feel like, yeah, I kind of, I don't know. I like the biography where somebody else has done a ton of research on this person rather than.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Although I did read Sonia Sotomayor's memoir, and it was read. I did the audiobook, which was read by Rita Moreno, and I really enjoyed that. And I'm reading The Light We Carry right now, Michelle Obama, which is so good so far.
She reads it right,
yes. So
if they have a good voice, I love an audiobook. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So there's certain memoirs that'll get me, but it's not something that I'm consistently, seeking when I go to pick my next book.
What do you read, Chris?
Ooh, I love reading some fiction, but I will read a biography every now and then. The only one that sticks out in my mind, obviously, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, but that was a while ago.
What kind of fiction do you like?
Oh, give me some sci-fi, give me some mystery, hit me with a thriller.
Did you read Silo?
So I didn't. I started watching the show. I wasn't a big fan of the show, I'm not gonna lie, but I might read the book. So I'm like, if they made a show, the book was probably really good. So
and the book's always better. The book is always better. I'm always mad at myself when I watch something and then either I usually didn't know it was a book first, or I find out later and I'm like, dang, I should have read, because the book, you just never watch something and it does the book justice. Like never.
It's never. Someone told me the way to do it, like instead of reading the book and then watching the movie, because you're gonna be disappointed because they left a bunch of stuff out. Watch the movie and then you read the book, and it's like you're getting extra bonus content because you get all the other stuff, the side stories they had to take out. So it's like, it's spoiled a little bit, but you get, like, if you love the movie, the book will be like the movie and some.
But when it gets a whole series like Thrones, way better than the books.
Yeah. Game of Thrones was really good. I just feel like I can't do. Well, I don't know. Do you feel like the Harry Potter movies were better than the books?
No, the books way better.
The movies
I really dislike the movies.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to say it because I didn't know if you was a movie fan, girl, but I was like, no, girl, the movies was terrible. The books were so rich and so good, and like they cut out every one of my favorite little detailed parts out of the book. Were not in any of the movies. I was always so mad.
Not a fan. Fan of the kids, not a fan of the movies. All right, we got to take a break, y'all, and come right back with Brown Break, the BA Roundtable. Oh, I had too much coffee. I'm getting the shakes.
Did you eat?
No.
There you go.
It's 3:00. Oh my God. I had cereal at like 9:30. That's my problem.
That's not enough.
There you go.
All right, y'all. Brown break time. So Brown Boost, just to remind you guys, something that we're excited about, we really like, we want to tell people on, put them on. Brown Break. Did I mess that up? Brown Boost, something good. Brown Break is something that we're sick of. We could do with less of it. I'll go first this time, since last time I tried to sneak out without doing one at all.
You really did.
And I don't want you guys to lose faith in me, lose trust. All right, so I'm going to do a brown break. I said it was related to like AI. So I am a fan of, new services, new kind of like disruptors in different industries. My website is run by Squarespace, also a sponsor of the show. I get my glasses from Warby Parker, who really blew up the eyeglass industry about 10 years ago. However, I do see we're recording right now on Riverside, right? Which is a platform that lots of, even Yaneli, your podcast, you guys use Riverside at NPR.
Yes, we do.
And it's an incredible platform. Lots of AI, bells and whistles, very easy to edit, all of that. Squarespace, AI capabilities. I can build my website. I get in there myself and adjust things. I built a sales page last week. Amazing. I love my Warbies. However, I'm about damn sick of AI customer support. I am sick of having to email questions. Like, I had a glitch with my website this week where people were not able to buy the thing that I'm selling. As a solopreneur, kind of can't afford that, need my sales to be going through. And to have to, and it's like, 11:30 at night when I'm realizing this, I'm trying to chat with somebody, no one's available, send us an email. I send the email, takes, hours to hear back. And when I do, it's like clearly a canned response. And then it's like, we'll be passing this up the chain to someone else. And then for that response to take more than 24 hours to get to me, like, that's a long 36 hours. I fixed the glitch myself. I had to find a workaround, but I'm over it. Riverside effed up some stuff earlier this week. Again, couldn't get a human, had to email them. I know, still haven't gotten a response. Warby, my poor mama, I turned my mom on to Warby Parker, and like, she's like, I can't even call the store. They messed up my prescription. She can't call the store that she got them from. It was like an automated system or something like that. So I'm over it. Like, just give me a freaking human. Give me, I don't care. I just don't care. I want to talk to someone to get this issue resolved ASAP. And I worry that like that's what we're losing as we shift to this more like AI bot driven technology, and people, and they're investing so much in this part of the business, but not the customer service part.
Right.
Which matters. So now I'm like, as a consumer, I'm looking very carefully at like customer service. When this breaks, who is going to answer my calls? Is anyone going to answer my calls? And that's going to be a big decisive factor for me moving forward as a business owner over what tools I use and don't use.
Oh yeah, because they're shifting to AI because it can give you a canned response based off of some of the words it's all you put in your message, but it's still not at the level of actually doing any type of troubleshooting or analyzing what you're asking and finding a solution for you. Like, it's not doing that at all. And to me, it's like they're rolling it out because it saves them money because they don't want to pay somebody to be there to do it. And so it's like, it's not ready, but every company's like, hey, this is what we're all doing. We're all in on having a little bot come over here and tell you we'll email you later, which could have just been a message they gave me automatically.
Yeah, which they sell to everybody, even if they don't call you back. I've been noticing some of these that will, like, if I call a customer service line, they'll be like, you're going to be in the queue for 20 minutes, but dial 4 if you want us to call you back when it's your turn.
I love that.
And I love that. And I got to say, I have never had an experience where I pressed 4, waited for my call, and didn't get a call back. I always do get a call back. And so I really do appreciate that, which is a really nice use of AI to like put me in a queue and send me to the customer service rep when it's my turn, give them my number, have them call me. I like that. But to not have the ability to talk to someone at all, that is extremely frustrating if that's what you're trying to do.
And it's tech right now. So many tech companies are just like, no. Like Google, could you even call Google? I don't think there's a way to even get a hold of a real person there.
No. And now that's the direction Facebook and Meta is heading to. Like, you can't talk to somebody, Instagram, Meta, Facebook, all of it. You can't talk to anybody.
Here's this FAQ page. Does this answer your question?
Exactly.
And the answer is always no, it didn't.
My rage level is too high. I can't read this text right now. Like, because of your content. I said I wasn't going to curse as much. Because of your content, social media, our attention span is so now that we can't even we don't have the attention span to read these FAQs, but that's the answer we're getting. Like, read this long blog post and figure it out. Good luck. Bye. Right. I'm gonna lose all my sponsors after this episode airs.
It was you, girl. It was you. It wasn't us.
Listen, I'm not about to tell the rosy part of like working with products and services. There's always every company is gonna like screw up and do some great things. Like, two things can be true. It's the dialectic, Yeah. All right.
Yep.
All right. Y'all's turn.
Agree. 100% agree.
Yeah, Nelly, you go next.
Okay, I'm gonna do a brown boost. So y'all know a lot of the work that I do around financial literacy education. First of all, if you're trying to change laws, it's going to take forever and a day. Like, this is not the kind of thing you could just do overnight. And so our team last year, we had a year where we only got one state to pass a law, which was California. The year before that, we got 8 states. So it sounds bad. Like, oh no, we went from one year where 8 states signed a law to require financial literacy at the high school level to the year where one state. But the state of California is so big that more students are getting access to financial literacy because of that one state law than all 8 of the previous year states combined. So like, the reach is great. But my boost is not that. My boost is that this year for 2025, the session just started in January. Legislative sessions start in January. New members are being sworn in. And we have officially confirmed with lawmakers in 3 states that they are serious about championing bills. So I'm about to tell y'all, if you live in this state and you have any little ounce of passion to help us pass a law to require financial literacy for every high school student in the states are New Jersey, Colorado, and Texas. So
nice.
It's official. We are working on trying to get legislation. The lawmakers are drafting bills right now to try to get us to get these bills signed by May or June of this year, hopefully, and then to be like implemented before, like, in the coming 2 to 3 years, because it does take some time to roll it out. You got to train all the teachers. You got to decide which curriculum. The districts have to make certain decisions. So it's not going to be like starting August 1st, but still, like, getting these laws changed is a big deal. It's a big effort. And so to get 3 states right out the gate in January that's saying that they're serious and committed is like a big deal. So that is my boost this whole year, but specifically stuff that I found out this week.
So that's Next Gen Personal Finance. Is that the organization that you work, the nonprofit, right?
Yeah. So actually, that's the organization that provides the free curriculum. If there's any school out there that does not have lesson plans and homework and games and assessments and everything, you can just go to ngpf.org and get it for free, because we don't want schools to say, oh, well, we can't teach it because we don't got the budget. It's free. But we have a different affiliated organization called NGPF Mission 2030 Fund. And that's the organization that actually works with public policy experts to get laws changed.
I love that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So we're doing things. Colorado, Texas, and New Jersey. Hit me up. Holler at me.
Oh, so me? Are we on to me over here?
You? We looking at you, Chris.
Ooh, okay. All right. So my brown boost. I'm gonna do a boost again. I think I did one last time, and I'm basically just all I'm doing now is doing some work and then packing stuff up. And I gotta say, I don't think hopefully I'm not repeating this, but getting rid of stuff feels good. I've been getting rid of so many things, and I've always been like a fan of minimalism. I'm not a minimalist. I had too much stuff to be a minimalist, but I don't like having a lot of stuff. I don't like clutter, and I like just being like real streamlined. And I think it's not like a move to make you realize how much stuff you have that you didn't even care about, and you just been holding on to it, accumulating it for some weird reason. And I've just been going to friends' house, going to family. Here, you take this. I'm sending pictures of stuff to people. Hey, you want this? Like, don't give me any money. Just take it. Yeah. You need something?
Pot? Got an air fryer? Or?
Yeah. I got an air fryer. Want to mail it to you?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that
the shipping cost might just be how much it costs to get one off of Amazon. But
yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like getting rid of stuff. And I'm trying to like get down as low as I can to the least amount of things.
I'm so jealous.
And I thought it would feel a little more maybe sad or like weird to get rid of stuff, but it's so freeing. I feel very light.
What do you have though? You're a dude. You probably have like boxes of cables and cords that you don't know what remote controls.
I had to get rid of that stuff. I had to get rid of some of that stuff.
You probably have like old Apple packages that you save in the box for God knows what reason.
I know. Why do people save that stuff? I throw that stuff out.
I had to get rid of so many boxes I had. Look, I finally upgraded my phone. I had an iPhone 13 and I got a 16, and I went into the Apple store to trade in my old one. And I had my box from the original 13 that I had. And they were like, why do you have this box? I was like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. I was going to give it to you.
Because they use the really expensive cardboard and it feels nice.
Yeah.
And like,
it's like a legit box.
It's a fancy box.
Yeah.
But why do we have them?
I don't know. I started throwing them out though. Like when I got I think maybe the 11 or the 12, I was like, that's it. Never again. I'm throwing these boxes out. I'm throwing the stickers out. Why? I don't even use the stickers. They always just have them. I'm throwing it out.
Them in there. Yeah. I won't put that on my car or my laptop. You can have the sticker.
Take it. No, I feel you though, because a couple years ago, I lived in an apartment. I shared it with 2 roommates, and we were all out working. It was like, middle of the day, and I got a phone call from one of my roommates, and she was like, I just ran by the apartment and it's on fire. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, apparently somebody in the unit right above us or right below, no, above us, left something on, like an electrical device through the night, and it caught with the curtain, started just, a flame, and it went down to our apartment. So I don't know, like during the day while we weren't there, the apartment caught up in flames. So the fire crew had to come, everyone had to come. And ever since that fire happened, it's like I was, invited to just like let go of stuff, because if my apartment were to burn up right now, how bad would it really be? Like if I don't have that much stuff, so it kind of changed my mindset to like stop putting so much value on these things that like, this is just stuff, you know what I mean? Like the things that really matter, there's so few. And I honestly used to be a hoarder because I'm my mother's daughter. I used to just have all kinds of stuff thinking, oh, I'm gonna use that fabric for a project. Oh, I'm gonna use this. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna use it. And so now I can't say I'm a minimalist like you, Chris, but I definitely am a fan of minimalism. And I understand that feeling of like, I just packed like 2 big old bags of stuff that I don't wear anymore and gave it to my nieces or gave it to Goodwill. And it's just like, it feels so good. So I give you a +1 on that brown boost for sure.
Ooh, I finally I had 2 shopping bags full of like the kids stuff in my trunk that would have been sitting there forever. And I finally pulled up to the same donation place that I always pass and still never stop. And I'm just like, wow.
But you did.
Where's my prize?
Yeah, that's big.
It'll probably end up in a landfill in China, but where's my prize?
Oh, no.
I saw By Now that Amazon documentary, or what felt like an Amazon bashing documentary, but the one on Netflix, girl, oh my goodness, the way that documentary is just like, it wasn't like a super deep dive, but like if you haven't seen it and you were considering watching it on Netflix, it's called By Now. I definitely recommend watching it because it's just eye-opening, especially if you have like middle school kids or high school teenagers around your house that like at that age, I don't think you think very deeply about the stuff. You just want it. And this film, oh man, it's like, no, we make too much, we waste too much, we pollute too much, we create products that have a limited lifespan on purpose too much. And it's all about making money. And then we throw all the junk in countries of Black and brown people who have no choice but to like live in filth, or like worse comes to worse, like go through these things which have like chemicals being emitted, and it's like we're throwing stuff in where they live to create junk for them, or literally worsen their health conditions while we're over here on to the next. And oh man, it just broke my heart. So that's just a quick plug.
That's on my list. I gotta watch that.
Oh girl, I highly recommend you watch it. By Now was so worth the whatever hour and 20 minutes for sure.
God, just I literally, I'm in the middle of such a stuff, just stuff purgatory. Being a mom, having kids, you just can't, it's a losing battle against stuff all the time. So I'm so jealous of you, Chris. But I'm excited for you because it's starting fresh. This is a fresh chapter. So the next time you're on BA Roundtable, I don't know when that's going to be, but you'll be living your best life in SF.
I'll be officially up in San Francisco, recording from a whole new area. And but we're talking about like the people just throwing stuff away. I did try this company. I can't vouch for them yet, don't, because I haven't officially got everything yet. But it's called Trashy. And it's where you can send in like tech products, but also clothing. So clothing that's like damaged, stained, old shoes. And they take care of recycling it properly, whether it's repurposing it, upcycling it, and that way it doesn't get thrown into a landfill or thrown in the ocean and, all the horrible things that happen to it. You do have to pay. So you're paying for these bags because they're going through and doing the recycling for you. But it kind of relieves some of that guilt I had about throwing some stuff away. Because I didn't want to. Yeah, so they send you these bags and then the postage is covered and then you fill it up and you send it back.
Okay.
I love that. Okay, I'm gonna look into them because honestly, people just end up either putting it at Goodwill, giving it to someone they know, or dumping it. Let's be real.
That's basically what happens.
Yeah.
All right, BA fam. Well, Chris, good luck with your move.
Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm excited for you. I hope everything goes really smoothly. SF, get ready. Chris Browning is ready to put a ring on it. Finally. Finally. All right, BA fam. We'll see you next time. Bye.